Well, Liam, thanks so much for speaking to us today. Congratulations on a massive win last month. How do you reflect on that night against Anthony Fowler?
Obviously, I reflect on it. It was a good night all round, as in atmosphere. Still got the stoppage win, and it was a good night all round. But performance-wise, so. Business life, I think it was.
It felt like a statement win from the outside. Is that giving you even more belief? I know you've always believed in yourself that you can go on to really big things now.
Look, I think I said it time and time again, and I got called before we actually got in the ring, went in the build up. People were calling me not arrogant, but like I was overlooking Anthony Fowler and stuff like that. And I think after the fight, I've done it numerous times. Every time I step back to domestic level, and I don't want to say it because it does sound big-headed, but you bring me back in Sam Egginton. I keep showing I'm above that pack, and it's horrible to say coming from myself. It should be down to other people to say that. And every time I've been brought back to domestic level, I've proved I've been the best 154 in Britain for 7-8 years maybe. And I said all along in that build-up, I'll show that October 9th, and I did.
So what do you think's next for you then? You want to step away from domestic? You feel like you've proven what you need to prove. Are you looking towards mapping out that pathway to get back to world level now?
Yeah, I am. And obviously, Eddie's said he can make the Jesse Vargas fight now. I believe Vargas has agreed. Again, with Jesse, I believe that when he's sitting in front of me. But hopefully that can come off, the end of January. I'm told it could happen the end of January. So, I'll be ready for the end of January.
You made the change in trainer. You're now working with Joe McNally. What do you feel like that change has given you now?
It just given me some obviously different inputs that Joe and Declan have got. Obviously, I'm very close to them outside the boxing also, and we seem to gel well. I was happy with what the short space of time we have for Russia, and I was happy with the camp we've just had for Anthony Fowler. So, long may it continue, and I'm got my home comforts back. I don't have to travel to Bolton every day, and it's good to be around obviously other people in the gym. I love that gym. I'm back where I've been my whole life, the Rotunda, and the day crowd in there. It's good for them also, for them to get to see the inputs in camp. They don't usually see what we do in camp. They just turn up on the night. But now a lot of me close people around me are seeing what we do in camp.
And this fight against Vargas, potentially at the end of January, I mean, you'd love that to be in Liverpool, but where do you think that fight would be? Yeah,
look, I've said all along, put a fight to me, I'll take it wherever it is. And I think I've showed that. I've fought in Russia, Mexico, Texas, Arizona. But after that, the buzz and the atmosphere in the city, I'd love it to be in Liverpool. Obviously, that showed we've missed big time boxing, and I'd love a big night in Liverpool again. But I'm told, and I also wouldn't mind, it's going to be in Las Vegas, so that also ticks another box. And I can't really complain fighting Jesse Vargas in Vegas.
Moving ahead to the fight this weekend between Caleb Plant and Canelo, the big question we're asking this week is, can anybody beat Canelo? What are your thoughts on that?
Obviously boxing, anyone can be beaten, but I struggle to see anyone beating him and matching him for, how good he is. And Caleb Plant is just another one of them people. I think a very good fighter, but you're coming up against an elite fighter in Canelo Alvarez, and I don't think there's anyone to trouble him. Certainly not a 168 or 175.
And you've been in the ring with Canelo. Do you see any weaknesses, anything that would give any opponent now some belief that they could get the job done?
No, and I feel he's getting better and better, to be honest with you. You think, I thought his work rate was a little bit to be, you can capitalise on his work rate, but then, you raise the bar, he raises the bar again. You go, he'll go with you. So, I just think there's no one around at the moment who can match him.
And what do you think is possible for him? You mentioned about where he is dominant in this division. He's, of course, won a world title at light heavyweight. Do you think he could maybe even go even higher than that and go into cruiserweight territory, or is that a bit unrealistic?
No, it's just definitely unrealistic. He's too small. You know, he's only 5'9", I think, maybe. So, but you know, yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. He seems to be just breaking down barriers and, you know, building a big legacy. So.
And in terms of what he's been able to do, winning world titles at 4 different weight categories, turning pro at 15, only losing once to Floyd Mayweather, where would you rank him compared to some of the greats we've seen in this sport?
You know, talent and ability-wise, he's up there with the best of them. He's pound for pound number 1 at the moment now, you know, by a long way for me. But there'll always be that doubt in people's minds because of the drug scenario. And I'll be brutally honest with you, it tarnishes some of the things he's done. He's a great fighter and he's a special fighter, but you know, that drug thing will still dangle over him for a long time.
I wanted to ask you about Callum, and it was a really dominant performance, wasn't it, a few weeks ago on the AJ undercard, and things look really bright for him heading into this new era, I guess, for him at light heavyweight.
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, I said all along, he'll be a huge light heavyweight also, and you know, he made a big statement last time out, and I think he's looking to leave his mark in the 175 division also.
And lastly, I just wanted to ask you about the change in training, because you've done that yourself and you've reaped the benefits of it already. And Anthony Joshua's going through this situation at the moment where he's looking for potential change up when it comes to his team. He's been out in America training with a number of different trainers. What do you make of that situation? And what do you think is the right decision for him to make now as he looks to try and win back those belts?
Are we talking about Joshua?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Anthony Joshua.
I think, you know, I don't know what went on in and around camp. Joshua's a big, how can I put it? He's a big presence, and he's a big character in that camp. So I believe, I could be wrong, but I think Joshua set a stall out to outbox him. I don't think that was Rob McCracken or, you know, any of the other coaches. I think, you know, I remember getting told this, so I believed it. I remember getting told, you know, tell Joshua he can't do something, and he'll try and say you can't, you know what I mean? And I think all along people are saying he can't outbox Usyk. I think he might have thought, who can't? And has tried it, and he come up short. Knowing he's got the rematch clause, I think we'll see a totally different Anthony Joshua. And if I'm Anthony Joshua, I wouldn't really change too much, me. I think Rob McCracken's a very, very good coach. I just think he got it wrong on that night. Whether it was McCracken or Joshua, it was plain to see they got it wrong trying to outbox Usyk. You can't outbox Usyk. And if they were both cruiserweights and there was no size advantage, Usyk's a 1-20 favourite more. You know, Anthony Joshua's size and strength made it more of an even fight, and he didn't really use that advantage.